Oh,
Kaori.
Kaori. Oh,
Yeah.
she did so good. We were watching over lunch. We were literally screaming.
I
We were very
know.
excited. And she's always just such a solid skater. I personally love her jumps, her crossovers. I love the way she skates.
Visualize finally overcoming your fiercest Olympic adversary, the very individual who forced you to exceed your own limits. Yet, rather than basking in solitary glory, you reach out to her while she's still sobbing and pull her into a tight embrace. This is the exact moment Alysa Liu showed the world what she was made of. Facing her was Kaori Sakamoto, a legendary four-time Olympic powerhouse and triple world title holder who defined an era of dominance. She has officially hung up her skates. The words Alysa sent afterward peel back the curtain on their bond, proving why this might be the most poetic rivalry figure skating has ever seen. Don't go anywhere, because this narrative cuts way deeper than just shiny pieces of gold. On March 28th, Kaori Sakamoto glided onto the rink for the World Figure Skating Championships. Knowing it was her final bow, she didn't just perform, she took flight with everything she had left. At 25 years old, she secured her fourth world crown, proving she was still a titan capable of dismantling any opponent on Earth. Her departure wasn't fueled by a broken body or a string of losses. Leaving at the absolute zenith is the most quintessentially Kaori Sakamoto move imaginable. Just pause and let that sink in for a moment. This wasn't a slow burnout, it was a queen dictating her own finale while still wearing the crown at the sports summit. If anyone truly grasped the weight of that choice, it was Alysa Liu. Alysa is no stranger to the sting of an early exit or the pain of walking away from a passion while still in your prime. After making that same tough call at only 16, she didn't miss a beat when Sakamoto broke the news. She spoke out immediately. Here is the tribute Alysa shared the second the world learned of Kaori's retirement. She's always been such a powerhouse. Her jumps and footwork are purely mesmerizing. I've always been obsessed with her style on the ice. On the surface, it's a nice sentiment, but the backdrop makes it legendary. These two were the main event at the 2026 Winter Games, locked in a battle for gold decided by a razor-thin margin. Alysa clinched it with 226.79 points, while Sakamoto trailed by less than 2 points at 224.90. That's more than a competition. It's a heartbeat-skipping finale on the grandest stage imaginable. Instead of hogging the limelight, Alysa pivoted the world's attention toward the very woman who had pushed her to the brink. That gesture speaks volumes about the kind of person Alysa Liu is. But the interaction they shared the moment the final scores flashed is what people are still obsessing over months later. It's a story that deserves to be told exactly as it happened. When the results finalized at the 2026 Winter Olympics, the realization of silver hit Kaori Sakamoto like a wave, and she finally let go. She stood by the barrier, completely overcome, with tears streaming down her cheeks. This wasn't anger, it was the crushing weight of a lifetime sacrifice surfacing at once. Her teammate Amber Glenn was the first to offer a hand. Amidst the chaos of the consolation, Alysa stepped forward. Carrying the weight of a fresh Olympic gold, she didn't just offer a polite handshake, she wrapped Sakamoto in a genuine, heartfelt hug. During the actual podium ceremony, Alysa made sure the global audience recognized the immense legacy Sakamoto was leaving behind. The moment was so powerful it moved Amber Glenn to tell Alysa that this single act would redefine the future of the sport. Think about that. A fellow competitor watching from the side felt the entire culture of skating shift because of one act of kindness. Later on, Sakamoto shed some light on the internal storm she was weathering at that moment. I was genuinely thrilled for her in that second. My congratulations were sincere. But the moment I spoke those words, a tidal wave of frustration crashed over me. I couldn't even process what I was feeling. Her mind was a whirlwind. It wasn't about the sting of losing the top spot. It was the sheer intensity of years of blood, sweat, and this specific rivalry finally boiling over in a single instant. That's the kind of raw vulnerability you only see when the stakes involve your entire soul. This rivalry was special. To truly feel it, we have to look back at how it all ignited. Flashback to the 2022 Beijing Games. Kaori Sakamoto was already the established queen of the ice. She delivered a masterclass, walking away with a bronze medal and solidifying the fearsome reputation she'd spent years carving out. Meanwhile, a 16-year-old American named Alysa Liu was stepping onto the world's biggest stage for the first time. She landed in 6th place, not a failure by any means, but far from the podium she dreamed of. For a talent like Alysa, that distance between her and the leaders was a weight she would carry until they met again. Later that same year, during the 2022 World Figure Skating Championships in Montpellier, they crossed paths once more. Sakamoto was virtually untouchable. She secured the gold with a staggering 236.09 points, marking one of her career's highest marks. Liu took the bronze, her first ever world podium. Looking at the stats, Sakamoto seemed like the undisputed queen of the ice, while Liu appeared to be playing catch-up. However, a sudden twist unfolded right after that competition that caught the entire world off guard. At only 16, Alysa Liu walked away from the rink, leaving professional skating behind. For most athletes, that is where the journey ends. Walking away from your prime, especially at such an elite level, usually means your window of opportunity has slammed shut. But Alysa isn't like most people. Fast forward 2 years, and Alysa Liu didn't just return. She made a thunderous statement at the 2025 World Championships. Under the global spotlight, Liu claimed the highest step on the podium. She was the new world champion, draped in gold. This victory made her the very first American woman to capture the world crown since 2006. A 19-year drought was finally quenched by a teenager who had vanished and returned completely transformed. This time, Sakamoto took home the silver. The dynamic had completely shifted from their early years when Sakamoto led the pack. Yet, how Sakamoto handled this transition is what makes her so special. She didn't offer any excuses or try to diminish what Alysa had achieved. Instead, she truly appreciated Liu's path, the rise, the exit, the return, and the ultimate victory. She noted that while they both shared the Olympic podium in Beijing, Liu had stepped away only to return and conquer the world. It's truly mind-blowing. I can't even begin to fathom the sheer willpower that kind of comeback requires. She spoke of her with immense respect, describing her win as a beacon of possibility for everyone in the sport, a true light of hope. That is the mark of a real champion responding to a loss with grace and admiration, rather than bitterness or resentment. Sakamoto's praise went beyond the ice, touching on the core of Alysa's spirit as a human being. She remarked that Liu's vibrant and high-energy personality hadn't changed at all, citing that inner fire as the secret to her triumph. Her warmth, positivity, and integrity only seemed to have sharpened with time. It's honestly quite remarkable to see. She was essentially saying that Alysa's secret weapon wasn't just technical skill, but her resilient character. Even after stepping into the shadows, after facing the critics and returning to a sport that had moved on without her, Alysa Liu showed up with that same infectious kindness she's always had. That kind of heart isn't accidental, it's pure character. Sakamoto, having battled her on the Olympic stage, recognized that greatness instantly. That is the beautiful reality of legendary rivals. They perceive one another with a clarity no fan ever could. They know exactly what it costs to stand out there on that blade of ice. They understand the hidden sacrifices and choose to honor them. Kaori Sakamoto is retiring as a 4-time world title holder and 4-time Olympic medalist, leaving the sport on her own terms at the very peak. And the woman who outscored her, the one who took the gold she had spent a career chasing, responded not with ego, but with genuine awe. Her skating is so incredibly dependable. I'm in love with her power and the way she flows through her crossovers. That is the essence of Alysa Liu. This rivalry was never just about who walked away with the top prize. It was about two warriors who elevated each other, pushing the limits of what's possible on ice to find something rarer than gold. Mutual respect. In a sports world often driven by spite, these two gave us a masterclass in dignity and sportsmanship. Perhaps that is why Amber Glenn's perspective was so spot on. This moment is going to redefine the future of the sport. If this story moved you as much as it moved me, please share it.